Aquaman hits theaters next Friday, December 21st, but we've been hearing about the film for a while, especially if you've been following the movie. The social media embargo lifted a few weeks ago, giving us our first taste at the reactions of those that had seen the film, and at the time they all seemed remarkably positive. But now, the review embargo has lifted, and we've gotten to see in full what America's critics think about the film, and it's still pretty good. The film is currently sitting at a 76% on review aggregation site Rotten Tomatoes, with an average rating of 6.3 out of 10. Now it's worth noting this is with only 70 reviews counted. By the time of release, this number is going to go upwards of 200 and 250, maybe even as many as 300 reviews when all said and done. So don't hold your breath. Again, this is a statistically relevant sample size at 70, so it might not change too much from 76, but it's already going up from where it originally started. I think the first time that I saw it, it was at 73%. But what are the critics saying? Well, Rotten Tomatoes critics' consensus says Aquaman swims with its entertainingly ludicrous tide, offering up CGI superhero spectacle that delivers energetic action with an emphasis on good old-fashioned fun. That sounds nice. But getting down to the reviews themselves, arguably the most positive review that I saw was from Nerdist's Rosie Knight. She said that James Wan's Aquaman is impossibly fun. Taking on the first solo movie about the Atlantean King is behemoth task, as the general and incorrect perception of Arthur Curry is that he's the punchline of the DC universe. Wan dispels that myth with ease in the action-packed adventure, creating something utterly fantastical. William Bibbiani from The Wrap in his reviews says that Aquaman is a weird and wonderful superhero adventure that strives and almost succeeds to be the most epic superhero movie ever made. Scott Mendelson from Forbes calls Aquaman a glorious kitchen sink superhero spectacular. It is absurd and larger-than-life entertainment that offers just enough character and nuance to be more than empty spectacle. And what a spectacle it is. Brian Lowry from CNN had a little more of a tempered review, saying, while not on par with Wonder Woman, Aquaman is a step toward restoring equilibrium, creating a sprawling undersea world that most closely resembles the Thor franchise in terms of scope, majesty, and happily, humor. But not all of those reviews were as positive as you might have thought given the stellar social media reactions. Johnny Olakinski from New York Post said that Aquaman is just H2OK, saying it's better than Suicide Squad or Man of Steel, but you can't help but feel there's more to dredge up here. Mara Reinstein from Us Weekly gave the film 2 stars out of 4 and said, take away Momoa's steady presence and you're looking at an overstuffed mess that provides entertainment purely in an OMG this is a disaster kind of way. The Hollywood Reporter's Todd McCarthy talked at length about the film's perceived lack of depth and how basic and bare bones it is beyond the visual spectacle of it all, but he does say that the fact that it's so elemental is almost what makes it appealing and endearing, almost giving it a mythical quality. The USA Today's Brian Truitt came down somewhere in the middle, saying, moving from Justice League to his own solo movie, Aquaman is a big fish in a small pond where things go mostly swimmingly, though with various strokes that everybody has seen before. But maybe the most critical review of the film yet comes from the Chicago Tribune's Michael Phillips, who said, watching this movie is like spending 2 hours and 27 minutes staring at a gigantic aquarium full of digital sea creatures and actors on wires pretending to swim. Hybrid Network's own Nick Whitcomb saw the film and gave it a 7 out of 10, saying it was good, not perfect or amazing, but still good, and he also cited Amber Heard's Mira and Nicole Kidman's Atlanta as 2 of the standout highlights of the film. So to recap, some good, some bad, but the verdicts seem to skew mostly towards the good. Still sitting at a 76%, that's good enough to be the second highest Rotten Tomatoes score in the young DCEU, or the Worlds of DC as it's now called, just behind Wonder Woman, which came in at 93%, and ahead of movies like Man of Steel, Justice League, Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, and Suicide Squad. But it does sound like what the critics can all agree on is this is a step in the right direction for the Worlds of DC, or potentially just a step in a different direction, kind of moving from a lot of the darkness into the light, and potentially not even doing that. Maybe this is just the first step towards every movie having a different tone and, this more standalone sort of model that Walter Hamada wants to go with in his chairmanship at Warner Brothers Films. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think the Rotten Tomatoes score is going to end up at. Personally, I think it might climb up to a 78% as more critics get to see it, especially the ones that weren't invited to early screenings. And what you think the audience score is going to be as well. I'm thinking probably high 90s. That's going to do it for me here, though. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to smash that like if you like what you saw. Subscribe for more great content every single day, and consider turning on your notifications to be alerted every time we upload a new video. Signing off, this is CJ, and I'll see you next time.